outcome or of course yung outcome na naging community assessment namin in Manuel Rojas Barangay in Baguio City. First up, of course, we have here the overview or the description of the barangay.
Manuel Rojas, located in the city of Baguio, and is recognized as one of the 129 barangays in District 20, and the population of Manuel Rojas Barangay is 1,010 with a total of 266 family households, and has been acknowledged as an exemplary model of cleanliness and innovation. Manuel Rojas has experienced significant development and progress, meeting the needs of its residents and enriching the dynamic significant.
Alright, so that is all for the brief description of Barangay Manuel Rojas. Now let us move on to the SWOT analysis. Now in our community, while doing our interview or our assessment, we came up with number one, the strength. So we have here the five main strength of Manuel Rojas Barangay. Number one here is cultural identity of the barangay. Of course, they are practicing good governance as well. They are able to come up with leaders that has the credibilities and of course the abilities to govern or lead them. Number three is the trust and credibility. It says here that residents appreciate the transparent allocation of resources. So as for this one, sa trust and credibility, maganda sa Manuel Rojas Barangay because they are able to disseminate yung mga kung saan ba yung allocation ng budget, saan ba napupunta yung budget, saan ba na-fend yung mga pera na nilalabas nila from the government. Next, of course, the empowering organization. Sa Manuel Rojas Barangay, one good thing about that community is that they have organizations or different stakeholders. For example, is the Libi, that is a women's organization. Number two is the KLED or Kid Leaders of Today's Dream. That is actually a youth empowerment or youth organization. And lastly, yung Lupon Tagapamayapa, which is focusing on naman siya sa safety and security ng barangay. Lastly, and is of course, established facilities. One good thing about Manuel Rojas Barangay is that hindi na nila kailangan, hindi na sila maghihirapan. For example, they are going to implement or propose a project. Hindi na sila maghihirapan in terms of venue kasi meron silang established na health centers or clinics. They also have here youth centers, reading corners, and of course yung multi-purpose hall, and of course yung barangay office po. Yun. And of course, it is all accessible sa lahat ng mga residents na gustong pumunta doon or mag-inquire doon sa barangay. Next, if we have the strengths, of course, opposite note, we also have here the weaknesses of the barangay.
Number one, with the problem, it's already 3 minutes.
Oh.
Problem, sorry.
Ayun. So number one problem here na kinakaharap ng barangay is of course the untrained staff. Now, as for this one, sabi dito, the personnel of the barangay lack proficiency in utilizing and navigating computers, software, and social media. They also struggle with the English language and drafting legal documents, which hinders their overall effectiveness. Now, in this one, we came up with three proposal, pero we're going to choose kung ano nga ba talaga yung kailangan talaga ng barangay officials or ng staff ng barangay, which is yung English, title ng activity ang title ng program or activity is Enhancing Skills for Professional Excellence, Legal Writing, and English Proficiency Training. Now, when we talk about that one, the training consists of 2 sessions. So, dalawang session yung maging training nila. For the morning session, we have here, for the morning session, that is from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. They are going to focus doon po sa English literacy or English proficiency training. Bakit nga ba mahalaga ang English proficiency in terms of sa mga barangay officials? Of course, because they are going to use English language kapag sila po yung kakandak ng mga meetings or any procedures po. Yun. For example, ng procedure na yun is the parliamentary procedure, which is they are following, yun po yung procedure na ginagamit nila kapag meetings, barangay meetings. And of course, doon naman ay, yun, matututunan nila kung paano nga ba gumamit ng English vocabularies. And of course, they're able to hone as well yung kanila pong proper usage of grammar. And of course, yung proper usage ng, yung proper usage ng English na words. And of course, matutunan din sila kung paano nga ba yung public speaking. Yun, so ititrain din sila kung paano nga ba magsalita in front of the crowd, of course, to persuade them, of course, kung paano nga ba maging professional in terms of answering their inquiries. Yung allotted na budget doon dito is 12,800 pesos. Yun. So, before that one, of course, yung afternoon session naman natin will focus on the legal writing. Bakit nga ba mahalaga ang legal writing kapag nasa akap sa kanila? Of course, as a barangay official, they're also creating or making resolutions or drafting ordinances, manifesto statements, and of course, yung mga formal letters na isasan nila or yung paggawa mismo ng report. So, lahat yung pag-aaralan nila, hindi lang siya, ayun, sabi dito, this is a workshop. So, basically, hindi lang siya seminar or hindi lang siya training. Ganun. Kasi kapag seminar or training, is basically parang discussion or nagsasalita lang sila. Well, dito sa project na to, this is more of intensive workshop where tuturuan talaga sila yung application kung paano nga ba mag-draft ng mga legal papers. Yun. So, sabi ko nga kanina, ang natin na budget dito will be 12,800. This will cover na po lahat ng mga expenses, including the tokens ng mga speakers natin, the certificates ng mga barangay officials, as well as yung mga speakers. And of course, lastly naman, ang kagandahan dito sa activity na ito, this is not just a training. Kasi after po ng morning and afternoon session ng kanilang workshop and training, of course, they will be receiving a manual. Ganun, makaka-receive sila doon ng online module para for example, meron siya, para of course, ang kagandahan is magkakaroon sila ng references kung paano nga ba yung format ng format po ng legal papers, or of course, maging reviewer din nila. We are planning to conduct this activity so August 5 to 7, ayun, 2024. That's all for our next stuff.
Pang-sabi na lang yung problem number 2, tapos yung solution, and then number 3 nag-exit na kayo.
Okay, so yung problem number 2 is the frequent absence of constituents during barangay meetings, activities, and programs. And it reflects their insufficient disinterest and participation to the community, which hampers their community development efforts and weakens their decision-making processes. So, among the three, we chose the solution, Sibol Kakayahan, Sibol Kabuhayan. This is empowering through livelihood and skills training. So, our final initiative is targets individuals of all ages and backgrounds, providing them with all opportunities for formal and economic development. Through a comprehensive livelihood and skills training program, participants will acquire essential skills in dishwashing, liquid making, ubi jam production, soap making, and basic bread making. So dito, our objective syempre is to foster active involvement and enthusiasm from community members to all age groups. So pinofocus dito ang mga mothers and youths also to join this initiative. We allocated a budget of 20,000 pesos, including the resources and utilizing the.
Okay, problem number 3, lack of healthcare. So dito makikita, dito nakapaloob ang maraming kakulangan sa barangay ng mga gamot, equipments, tools, and at the same time, kakulangan din sa mga nag-medical mission o mga doctors. At at the same time, kulang din tayo ng yung inventory. Gusto namin magkaroon sila dahil nga maraming untrained staff. Gusto namin ang treasurer at ang kapitan ay magkaroon ng leveraging inventory management technology for efficient enhancement. So dito malalaman talaga ng mga barangay kung gaano na ba ang kakulangan ng gamot. Madali siyang ma-analyze, madali siyang matatrack kung ano ba mga gamot ang kulang at nadidistribute ba ng tama. So dito magkakaroon sila ng seminar na sa ganun, low cost ito kasi hindi na kailangan mag-manual kasi nalaman namin sa Barangay Rojas ay gumagamit pa rin sila ng traditional which is the logbook. Mas mahirap yun, mas madali ito kasi matututo sila sa Excel sheet, magkakaroon din sila ng mga barcoding at saka mga RFID. Ibig sabihin, pag binarcode nila yung mga gamot, matik, malalaman na ilan pa ba yung mga kailangang gamot at na-well distribute ba ito sa bawat tao? Tanong ko.
Since you're already employing such changes, and one of your threats is resistance to change, how will you try to change the mindset of the community?
Regarding po sa lahat yan, sir. Sa lahat.
Or, sige, let's be specific. Under your technology, for healthcare services, you've included technology for the community, and you've already said that the community is well versed with logbooks and other systems. Since it is a threat for them, or they are very much resistant to change, how would you try to inculcate in their community the PPA?
Ang gagawin dyan, sir, dapat yun nga, magkaroon ng meeting para malaman ano ba mga advantages ng pagkakaroon ng bagong teknolohiya. At alam naman siguro, hindi naman, lalo na mga panahon ngayon, hindi naman mga tao na alam na nila ang mga advantages po ng teknolohiya. At malalaman nila dito, sir, na hindi na kailangan ng logbook, hindi na tayo mahihirapan, lalo na yung mga nagpapacheck up sa clinic, magkakaroon na kagad sila, sir, ng magkakaroon kagad ng, andun na kagad yung pangalan nila, may record na sila doon, hindi na yung maghahanap pa, at saka mas mapapabilis ang magiging easy yung trabaho. Dahil tsaka walang mawawalang mga record dahil nga andun na siya nasa isang na po siya. Nasa isang kumbaga po pag may app, andun na kunyari Excel po or Google Sheet, andun na lahat, mas mabilis i-update. Siguro more on na lang po, bigyan ng total mas may alam na po sila, bibigyan na lang po sila or i-enhance na lang or i-well educate na lang sila. Ano po ba ang mas advantages po ng mga to?
We also I'm sorry, I'm not so imagine. If, in relation to that one, of course, aside po sa sinabi niya, we also provide yung mga IECs, ganun, mga posters po, mga posters, IECs po, para at least, di ba, meron silang awareness, not just the officials, but also yung mga tao dun sa within the barangay, no, kung ano nga ba talaga yung mga panibagong ginagamit ngayon ng barangay na pang-track sa kanila, sa mga gamot, ganun po.
Tsaka additional din, sir, kapag nakikita po ng community na nagkakaroon ng mga bagong technology at nagkakaroon po ng mga update o upgraded na kaya, nalalaman po nila na ang barangay official or barangay council, ibig sabihin na kakaroon po ng innovation, may pagbabago. Hindi po tayo natatrack o hindi na lang tayo naaano sa iisang na lang po, yung lumang technology or yung traditional.
Yeah, basically po, it makes us more adaptable kung ano nga ba yung mga bagong ginagamit na gawin para at least mas madali po yung pag-track at yung trabaho ng mga barangay officials.
And who will encourage these changes to the community?
Siyempre po, ang unang mag-encourage po, siyempre po yung mga barangay council na rin po.
But they are one of their weaknesses is centralized decision making. And the centralized decisions came from the barangay officials. Now, how would you
Encourage them po to apply this. Ito po, state chairman siya. Hindi, yan po ang trabaho kasi di po ba ang mga state chairman at saka mga kagawad, mas maano sila sa technology. Pag nagkakaroon kayo ng meetings, di ba? Siyempre sir, inaano din naman nila, pinopropose din naman nila, pag-iisipan ng mga barangayan. Kung tutusin, akala lang po nila may hirap para po yung boss ko. Bobo po sa technology. Nung tinulog po sa kanya na mas kailangan to, mas mapapabilis, nakayanan naman niya sir. Sa una lang siya mahirap kasi kaya nga po na magkakaroon ng intensive training at saka application na rin as well. Pero pag nalaman, saka sir, mas maganda yung nakikita mo yung improvement ng barangay. Ibig sabihin po, mayaman ng barangay. Ibig sabihin po na mayaman ng barangay, magandang pasok ng pera kasi lumalago ang pamayanan. Yun lang po sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.